All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. So we're building the unified trading layer that connects all your PerpDEXs. Basically, at the moment, the volume in Hyperliquid, Aster, Lighter, and all these exchanges is rising rapidly, as I'm sure you've seen if you've ever been on Twitter lately. Almost half the volume today is on these PerpDEXs in crypto. So the problem is that there's still fragmentation there and kind of a headache for traders and institutions. So we're building this layer that connects it all for everyone, for both retail and institutions. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so basically right now you're juggling a bunch of exchanges, different wallets, maybe tabs, things like that. So you have that on your end, and then each exchange has its own point system or incentive rewards. So people are like optimizing to try and farm that. They want to get airdrops, they want to get Hyperliquid Season 2 points, they want to get Aster points, Lighter incentives, things like that. And then on the institutional side, you have the problem of self-custody, where basically if you're an institution, you can't trade on a PerpDEX. So we're solving that as well. So we're tagging this from all angles, where you can sort of just, where you can basically use our platform and you'll be able to work across all these exchanges, farm incentives, trade on any exchange you want, and then for an institutional perspective, you can do that as well. Wow. Okay, so what is Mozi, right? Like I said, you can trade across all these PerpDEXs. We're adding more soon, so the beta product now has 3. And you can see all your balances, positions, open P&L, margin, everything in one familiar spot, so you can track everything from one spot too. And the benefit of this is, before you would have to do this with like tools that didn't look like a centralized exchange interface, but now you can do this from our interface, which looks like trading on a centralized exchange. Okay, so what can you do? What's the benefit here? So, like I said, you can have this all in one flow. You can farm points. You can arbitrage the opportunities across these exchanges. So here's an example of our funding rate dashboard. So you can go long and short on different exchanges and capture the difference between them, the sort of the funding rate, for example. And in doing so, you also get to farm the points and the incentives that are available on those exchanges. So it's capital efficient that way. You can put your money into one spot and then deploy across several different places. And then you have opportunities that wouldn't exist previously unless you had some sort of bot or some sort of professional infrastructure in order to do that. So yeah, next slide. So the interface looks like trading on like a centralized exchange. This is like a pair trade here, where you can see that you can hedge a position. So you can go long and short on one, and you can capture the spread in between the funding rates there. So it's pair trading. The other option with that is you can have more opportunities in flat or bear markets. So instead of trading against US dollars, you can trade, you could say go long Bitcoin and short SWI or something like that. And that gives you like interesting opportunities and pairs where you wouldn't exist before. So that's one other use of this tool. And then obviously, you get the nice infrastructure of being able to do it in the centralized exchange kind of style. You don't have to use a bot or complex trading infrastructure that wouldn't be available for you. So like I said previously, it's easy to manage all your positions from one place on our platform. Instead of having to look at 4 or 5 different places, you can check your positions, your funding, your P&L, all that kind of stuff from one spot. And this like unifies the experience and makes the kind of like overhead of trading between different places much easier. So this is probably one of the more interesting products that we have on Mozi is the institutional access. So right now, if you're a fund or a VC or someone who wants to trade on Hyperliquid, you can't really do that. Like you have other people's funds and you can't self-custody those funds on these exchanges. So what we have, what we've come up with is we work with partners like Cryptodian, which is a Hong Kong-based custodian, and you can deposit those funds in our custodian partner, and then those funds allow you to trade across a bunch of different centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges like Hyperliquid. So the funds stay there, but it allows you to trade at these different venues. So they never leave the custodian, but the balance that's in the custodian looks like it's on these exchanges. So it's a big thing because it now opens up a market for institutions to get onto places like Hyperliquid, Aster, and Lighter. So basically, we're building the trading layer that sits on top of all these exchanges. And I've been saying this for a while, since probably 3 years ago, that the fragmentation that exists in the ecosystem right now is going to be solved with platforms like this. So you're going to get on to these super apps and get anything you want to do done from one app. Trade, bridge, basically everything. Manage your positions, get your execution done. So that's what we're doing. And in the future, we're rolling out lots of new features. We're going to have prediction market access and advanced tooling as well for trading for both retail and institutional traders. So if you want to connect, you can scan that and you'll connect with me directly. That's probably the best way to get in touch with us. You could have my email, but that's my Telegram, so that's probably better. And then also, if you want to connect with us on socials, next slide we have our Twitter and Telegram and Discord. So please scan those and check us out. We would love some feedback from you guys because it's a beta product, and would love anyone who's a trader who's here is interested in checking these things out and has feedback, go ahead and shoot me a DM or send us a message on Twitter, something like that. Sorry, X. Okay, thank you so much.